Listen, everybody needs a fairy godmother, just somebody to look out for them. Some people call me their fairy smoke mother, others their internet big sister, but you can call me Hannah, the host of Smoke Sash. So come hang out, let's light up and talk everything there is to life. The good, the bad, the ugly, the embarrassing. I've got a story for it all. Oh, wow. Hello, hotties. Welcome back to another episode of Smoke Sash. My name is Hannah, your host. How are we all feeling today? Cue eye twitch. How are we doing in these changing times? I understand last week I uploaded an episode and it was on, I guess, Election Day. And that was a day in which I still had hope. So sorry if you listened to that episode post election day and you're like, why is this bitch so fucking happy? That's because it was filmed before election day, before I realized how much America truly just hates women and women of color. Now the vibes have definitely shifted. Now I'm definitely, after, the results came out that Trump was elected again, I have not felt that way since I went through a breakup. I woke up that morning and it is like, when you go through a breakup and it's just like a black hole of a pit, not in your heart, but like in your gut, where it's like sucking motivation out of you. It's sucking energy out of you. That's exactly what I woke up feeling. I woke up to a text at 4 a.m. to my friend being like, well, at least we have each other these next 4 years. And immediately that black pit just filled my soul. And I was pretty fucking sad, I will say. I was sent home early from work because they understood the vibes. Okay, it's a very progressive company. They were like, girl, go home. Here's a shot. Let me feed you a shot. Let me send you on your way. Go home, get some rest. I feel you. And my sadness has definitely turned into more anger, which is kind of nice. I'm still processing the 5 emotions of grief, the 5 different stages that you got to work through in grief. I already went through my sadness phase, my denial phase. Don't catch me being like those Trump supporters being like, there's election fraud, girl. If there is, it'll come to light. If not, it is what it is. Unfortunately, at this point, I just have to believe that truly there are that many people here in this country that hate women and hate women of color, most importantly. And that is truly heartbreaking and extremely fucked up to come to this realization again, over and over and over again in my life. I just didn't realize it was that many fucking people. So we're going to talk about it. And if you think I've been silent, if you think oh my God, girl, you were way too happy post-election, that's because it was filmed pre-election. This is truly my post-election feelings. Listen, I'm not going to be that white woman that gets on here and is like, can't we all just agree to disagree? We shouldn't let our politics, get in the way of loving and being kind to each other. Bitch, if you don't shut the fuck up right now, actually speak up and just say who the fuck you voted for. You're not saying it for a reason because you know it's fucking bad. I have never sat here and been afraid to tell people my political stance or who I voted for in fear of people not liking me anymore. And if you voted for someone and you feel that way, it's because you voted for the wrong fucking person. I'm sorry. That's just how it is. If you're gonna vote for Trump, you might as well fucking own it, because that's how you feel. If you feel like you have to hide your political beliefs, it's because it's probably fucking wrong, babe. And I don't give a fuck if I lose followers. I don't give a fuck if you're in the comments like, but I just needed gas prices to be lowered. Girl, it is bigger than fucking gas prices. It is. And if you're just broke, you can say that. You can say I'm broke and I can't afford shit right now. That's okay. But if you think it's going to get easier, you are in for a big fucking surprise. You are. And guess what? It's not my lesson to learn. It's not. I have done the education for myself. I have researched. I understand fully what is about to happen. I know. And if you're the person out here who also is as heartbroken and angry and upset as I am, please understand this is not your lesson to learn. That doesn't mean sit out and don't do anything. Obviously, it means we have way more fucking work to do. Obviously, we need to keep outreaching and showing up and protesting and supporting the people in our community. But if you are the person who thinks everything is going to be okay, you are in for a big fucking surprise. And guess what? It's not my lesson to learn, but they will learn it. They will learn it very fucking quickly. I also posted on Patreon. I needed to get, my energy focused into a better place. So I did post on Patreon a free public, everybody can view it. You don't have to be a Patreon member. You can send it to your friends. You can share it with people. PDF of resources for women, especially during this time, contraceptive options, resources on what your states do and do not allow in accordance to women's bodies, so you can adequately prepare. Access to Plan C pills if you need those. I know I will be stocking up on those just in case, so I can be, a resource for women in my community. My Patreon is patreon.com/smoke-shotty, but yes, I will include it in the bio, caption, whatever of this episode. So if you do need to access those resources or share them with a friend, you can. I think a lot of us thought the work was done. Well, it's never done, obviously, but I think a lot of us, at least within my own echo chamber, thought that, duh. Hello, duh. Did we not do the work? Have we not had the conversations? And I think we did not realize just how much more we need to do. So I am not going to give up the fight. I'm not going to just lay here and accept these negative changes to happen around me. I am going to keep showing up for my community. I am going to keep providing resources for you guys. Even if you are on the whole Trumpy side, 53% of white women, voted for Trump. I will have those hard conversations. I will educate those people. I will, show up and try to spread as much education that I can to those around me. That is our duty. That is what we need to be doing in this time. And if you are just sitting back and feeling angry and you don't know what to do with those things, that's exactly where you need to be putting your feelings, your emotions, your anger. You need to do community outreach. You need to be showing up for the women in your life. You need to be having those hard conversations. You need to be prevailing against all odds, especially right now. So yeah. Oh, I need a fucking bowl. My God. We're going to smoke here in a second, but I do want to talk a little bit about safety coming up during this time, and maybe some hot topics that have been spreading online especially. So first of all, immediately as soon as I saw the election results, I texted my dad and I said, I need you to take me to the gun range. If they're gonna have guns, I might as well know how to fucking shoot one. I might as well. Also, I need to take some anger out. I texted my dad, I was like, yeah, can you take me to the gun range? And he was like, who the fuck are you shooting? First of all, you can't just randomly text me that. Now I'm concerned. It's like, no, listen, we gotta fight fire with fire here. Not literally, I'm not gonna go take a gun out on the streets, but this is something that I need to learn how to do. Obviously, if we're going to live in Trump's America, I need to be able to protect myself. I need to be able to understand how to do these things. I also included in that PDF different versions of self-protection that women should have on them at all times, especially in a time where obviously people are not prioritizing women, and obviously the whole rhetoric of your body, my choice is going around. Bitch, my gun, my choice. Try me. I dare you. Safety is going to be the most important thing. And this is kind of the topic that I want to hit on the most here, because I think a lot of the women in my community need to hear this. And I understand it is mostly women here. If you are a queer person as well, I do think you need to prioritize safety as well. If you are a straight man who is here, you need to prioritize safety for the women in your life and show up and speak out for the women in your life. That is what is required of you during this time. An ally of sorts. But safety is so fucking important. It is. I also want to address, listen, if I'm being honest, I don't think there's a lot of Trump supporters that listen to this fucking podcast. I think I've scared you off. But if you are, I'm speaking to you right now, and I want you to listen. Just because you are in proximity does not mean you are safe. Just because the tiger is eating out of your hands right now doesn't mean it's not going to rip your fucking arm off coming up soon. I think a lot of women, and especially a lot of white women, from what we have observed recently from the recent polls and exit polls of how many white women voted for Trump, I think a lot of them are prioritizing their momentary comfort. And I hate to break it to you, but you will not be comfortable for much longer. Just because you are on their side and you're showing up to the rallies and, you know, you're speaking the same hate rhetoric that they are, doesn't mean they look at you any different. Those men who demean women, those men who think they can do anything to women, does not exclude you. In fact, you being closer makes you more of a target. And you succumbing to those things, you putting up with those behaviors, you spreading that rhetoric, shows those men and those people in your life that they can do it to you more. You are not safe just because you are close to those people. And just because you're comfortable right now does not mean you're going to be comfortable forever. And I don't want it to get so far that you end up physically hurt, mentally hurt, assaulted, dead, for you to learn that lesson. So listen to the words that I am speaking very clearly to you with right now. To all of my other women, and everybody else included, who maybe are on the resisting side, let's talk about the 4B movement. I understand this whole 4B movement has been a very prevalent topic, especially directly after the election of Donald Trump. And I do like the basis of it. The basis of it is just, it is a South Korean feminist movement that started in 2019, where they just started to refuse to date men, refuse to speak to men, refuse to have sex with men, refuse to have babies with men. And that is their form of protest. They said, if we're not going to get rights, if you're going to treat us like this, then this is how we're going to fight back. And in that culture, I think it is fantastic and amazing. But in this culture, we have warped it, and we are using the 4B movement as a way to kind of like punish men. And I want to get into the topic of doing things for men. And I want to make it very clear that when your behavior is constantly revolving around men, either for or against, you are still prioritizing men in your life. You have to do it for yourself. You have to revolve these ideas around yourself. I think it worked so well in South Korea because they were doing it for themselves. They were doing it for the other women. They were not doing it for the men to be against the men, but they were internally wanting more for themselves, wanting more for the women in their life. They were doing it for them. Here in America, we are so used to prioritizing men, revolving our behaviors around men. It is ultimately a patriarchal society, and we can see that very clearly now. And the number one form of safety that you can take in this day and age is stop prioritizing men. If you are out here and you're like, oh, I voted for Kamala, like I want more for women, but my boyfriend, he just happens to be a Trump supporter, you giving him pussy is reinforcing those ideals. You sleeping with Trump supporters are showing them, yes, you can hate women, you can want them to be lower than you can hate people of color, you can hate immigrants, you can be a hateful, spiteful, mean person, and still a good girl will walk into your life and give you pussy. You are reinforcing those ideals. If you are sleeping with a Trump supporter, if you are dating a Trump supporter, you are proving it to them. Just because you think differently and, oh, you may be getting fights here and there, you're still giving up pussy to him. And you're still reinforcing those ideals and those feelings to him through that action. You have to stop allowing those behaviors in your life. You have to stop prioritizing men in your life who simply do not give a fuck about you. Situationships, there's no more situationships, babe. There's no more time for casual sex. It is not safe anymore. I had to have a conversation with my boyfriend who was like, I would love to start a family with you right now. I would love to get married to you right now, but it is not safe enough for me to get pregnant. It's not safe enough for me to even attempt to get pregnant. When 15% of pregnancies end in miscarriage or needing an abortion performed, I don't have those protections. I don't. And that is not a risk that I am willing to take. So you need to ask yourself, oh, is this casual sex really safe for me at this point in time? Like, I'm so sorry. But at this point, you have to prioritize your safety. And casual sex, the situationship, that shit's out the window. If that man does not love or care for you, there is no reason you should be giving up your body and your soul and your pussy for a man who could care less if you lived or died. And that is something that I need you to get through your head ASAP. I know I talk about it a lot in a fun, oh, haha kind of way. But at this point, your safety and your future and your life is on the line. And that shit is not fun. I get it. It sucks. I hear you. You just want to live and have a normal life and be a free woman. Fantastic. I hear you. I wish you could do that too. But in the political sphere that we are living in, that has been taken away from us. It has. And I don't want any of you being that girl on the headline that is, abortion could not be performed, she bled out in the parking lot. I do not want any of you being that woman. And so if it takes me getting on here and talking sternly and directly, then that's what I'll fucking do. If it takes me providing resources and education and communication, then that's what I'll fucking do. Centering your life around men and approving men and pining after their attention when they give zero fucks whether you live or die, you're giving up your life. You are. And it sucks to have to get this serious. It sucks to have these hard conversations and not feel like you can be a free woman. But it's getting serious. Like, I hate to break it to you guys. It's getting real fucking serious. I do have some literature that I want to share with you guys if you are interested in maybe reading more or learning more about why this country is so fucked up as it is. One of those things being our newest book club book of the month. Every Patreon month I share like the book I'm reading with everybody, and this one really caught my eye, especially being a Christian raised woman. To be fair, I was raised a very progressive Christian. My pastor was a gay woman, like very progressive, but still there are those ideals that I'm breaking inside myself. This one is called On Our Best Behavior: The 7 Deadly Sins and the Price Women Pay to Be Good. I think if you are a woman in general who was raised within the Christianity sphere, I think this will be very important for you to read. Not only to kind of confront maybe internal shame that you hold, but also to understand maybe the women in your life who are a little more brainwashed in the Christianity realm and why they are. What tactics the church uses to get women to behave and to submit and to succumb, because we ain't doing that anymore. There's no more fucking time for that anymore. Another great one, which actually I might buy my dad, because unfortunately he has always shown up for me and the women in my life and been very progressive, and I do thank him for that. Everybody in my immediate family, the people that I choose to surround myself with, are very progressive people who do understand the value of the women in their life and who do show up and fight for them, and I am very lucky for that. But he lost kind of his dad to the right-wing pipeline, and I know that breaks his heart, but this is a great one for maybe the male Christian pipeline that a lot of them fall down. It's called Jesus and John Wayne: How White evangelicals corrupted a faith and fractured a nation. Another great one, if you're angry like me as a woman, rage becomes her, the power of women's anger. And then also within the same realm of kind of how history has covered up how important women have been in this world. It's called When God Was a Woman, the landmark exploration of the ancient worship of the great goddess and the eventual suppression of women's rights. This is not something that is new to history and human history in general. This is something that we have been facing for a long time. So it's something that we have persevered against for a long time. I don't want you to sit here and give up hope and sit back and just accept everything and become a part of the system that wants to suppress you so much. I do want you to hold on to that rage and hold on to that anger and hold on to that sadness that you do feel and that desire for goodness and that desire for more. I want you to put that, though, not just in your heart, but into places that are directly affecting the world around you. I want you to have those hard conversations with the people you love. I want you to get out and help community resources around you. I want you to give back to your community. I want you to show up at the rallies and the protests that are going to be happening. If you have big feelings, it's okay, but you need somewhere productive to put them. You need somewhere to place those emotions where it's going to have a positive effect on the world. If you just hold on to this anger and this rage and this sadness, it's going to overtake you as a human being. And we don't have time for that bullshit. I don't have time for any more women to lose themselves inside themselves. Okay, we gotta get out there and we gotta do something. We gotta do something. The biggest thing you can do right now, though, is decentering men from your life. Decentering the rage of men, decentering any sort of emotion or attachment that you have towards men, any sort of behavior that you are doing in spite or for a man. You need to be acting in radical acceptance and desire of yourself. The bravest thing and the best thing that you can do for yourself right now as a woman is do everything that you desire. Behave in ways that only you desire. Behave in ways that you have dreamed of. Get out there, get your education, get that degree, get that job, go after everything your heart desires. Stop letting a man get in the way of all these dreams and these big plans and these big goals that you have. Stop succumbing for a 2-second fuck in exchange for what you truly desire. Stop putting aside yourself for the appreciation of someone who doesn't even see the value in you. There is no way you're going to be able to convince someone of who you are and convince them to love you the right way. They should know how to fucking do that already. And if you are not feeling that way, if a man is not making you feel that way, get him the fuck out of your life immediately. That is a leech. That is a vampire. And they will find you and they will suck you dry until you are a shell of a human being. Straight up. My boyfriend is so sweet. First of all, he went out voted, of course. Hello. Duh. And no, I didn't have to beg him. You shouldn't have to beg your boyfriend to get out and vote. What the fuck? Go do it. Be a man. Hello. Not only that, but his birthday, I feel so bad, was the day of the election. And he bought me flowers. He knew how stressed I was. And he knew how much effort I was putting in. And he bought me flowers. Yeah. That's the kind of behavior that you should be keeping around you. And you know how I got that? Not by centering him. Like, I love him and I'll show up and I'll support him. But I did not have to beg for that. That is just something that he should do. That's something that all men should do. You should not have to center your entire world around him in order to earn that kind of behavior. That kind of behavior should exist inside him already. You should not have to beg anybody to love you. You should not have to also push them away in order for them to love you. You should be acting in every single desire and dream and hope that you have inside yourself, and the right person will find you. Straight up. We got to get a little selfish. We got to start prioritizing yourself. And yes, once again, Just being in proximity does not make you safe. It does not make you the chosen one. And yes, if you're angry right now, it'll make it a little bit easier to act in opposition of these things and to start prioritizing yourself a little bit more. But I'm tired of it. No more questions about how do I get this situationship to love me? How do I get this man to finally show up for me? I'm done. There's no more of it. We don't have time for it. We don't have space for it. You need to be radically centering your life around yourself. That is how you stay safe during this time. Not only around yourself, but also around other women. You must break that misogyny side of yourself that is constantly pining after male attention. That patriarchal side of yourself that only enjoys you when a man approves of you. You gotta break that shit and do it now, please. I'm practically begging you. This feels like when your big sister sits you down like in her bedroom and like gets real fucking serious with you, but we got to have these conversations every once in a while. And I really hope that I am getting to some of you and maybe helping some of you channel that energy in a positive way. Anyways, let's smoke a bowl. Oh, fuck. America needs a fucking bowl right now. Jesus Christ. We deserve it. We deserve it. We deserve a little bowl at, what time is it? Like 10:30. We deserve that. Okay. So let me load one. Let's take the edge off. Let's see what questions you guys have on your mind. Also, we're bringing back voice messages. Yay, everybody, round of applause. I want to hear your beautiful voices. I want to hear what's on your mind. Election day, I woke up and I literally ate an edible at 8 a.m. I haven't had a moment like that since like freshman year of college where it's like, I'm going to ingest 100 milligrams of THC this early in the morning. But I needed it. I definitely needed it. Anyways, cheers to my girls. We will make it. We will survive. As long as we have each other, we have something. Let's hit this shit. Also, if you thought I was a misandrist before, you are in for a big surprise. Literally the entire week, anytime a man smiled at me, I'm like, what the fuck are you smiling for? What the fuck are you smiling for? Also, I'd like to make it clear, the reason that I'm preaching about this whole, like, don't give pussy to Trump supporters and stop with the situationships, stop with the casual sex because it's not safe, is because a majority of those Trump supporters are young men. They are radicalized young men. And also, let's talk about the whole, like, moving across to a different country. Fantastic, amazing. But this right-wing propaganda is not just an America thing. America is kind of like the ripple effect of what happens to a lot of other countries. Not to like put us in a position of power or say we're important or anything. Like, I don't give a fuck. It's just a pattern that I have observed. But a lot of these countries are turning very right wing as well. So fuck it. I'm going to stay here and I'm going to do the fight here. I'm going to show up for my girls here. I'm not going to abandon you. I'm going to keep fucking fighting. But yes, a lot of these Trump supporters are young men who are our age. That's why I preach the casual sex is not safe for you. Sure, it's the old people, but unfortunately, it is the young people as well. They have been radicalized online because they have no positive male figures in their life, so they find themselves in pipelines that are unhealthy for any person to be viewing or watching, and it is a slippery slope after that. Be aware who the fuck you're talking to. Be aware who you are giving pussy to. Did they earn that shit? They need to earn access to you at this point. And if they don't, do not let them in. I always ask what the vibe is, and I feel like this really sums it up. They said, tired, the world is dying, planning for the future. Real. At this time, it can feel like, fuck it, why the fuck do I not give up? But that's exactly what they fucking want. That is exactly what they want. They want you to be so sad and so tired and so over it that you just submit and you give in. But that's not the way I fucking raised you girls. You better stand the fuck up. You better hope and dream harder than you ever have. You better fight and show up harder than you ever have in your entire life. I fear we have no choice. I fear this is the only option. At least it's a good option. I am never the proponent for laying down and dying when you see a obstacle in front of you. You better brush that dirt off and get the fuck up and keep going 10 times as hard. Okay? I get it. The world's dying. It feels like it's over. It feels like everything is spiraling out of control. But the older women in my life, at least the ones that I have talked to recently, have felt this way before, and they've overcome it before. So I do need you to hold hope. Please, please, I'm begging. Please hold a little hope and find comfort in the communities around you and show up for the people in your life, especially when it feels like on a big scale, you're out of control. You have no control. Your voice doesn't matter. In the big scale, it might not. And that's okay, because that will always be out of your control. At least right now, you can look at the people in your life, look at the people you are choosing to include in your life, look at the conversations you're having, look at the community that you are building around you and showing up for. You can choose to do good there, and that will make a direct impact. And that is exactly what we need to do during this time. Also, with the whole like Earth thing, best believe that I'm going to as many national parks as I can. I deserve to see as many beautiful things in this beautiful world as much as I can, especially while I'm young and I can get out and I can enjoy it. The world's not fucking imploding yet. You cannot give up on these beautiful places. Going to the Tetons and going to Yellowstone really changed my perspective completely about like travel. I'm the kind of person who's like, yeah, I'll travel here and there, but that was such a beautiful, jaw-dropping, mind-altering experience. And no, it did not come from drugs, believe it or not. It literally just came from being in nature and seeing how beautiful this world is that gave me hope and gave me this sense of like joyous peace. And I think we all are deserving of that. And especially when it's out here and it's pretty much free, go take advantage of it. Go get out, go travel, go to that country, go to that beautiful mountain range, go camping. If you have something that you've always wanted to do and you've never had the time to do it, go do it now. You are deserving of that. And Mother Earth needs to be appreciated and loved too. You know, she's not gone yet. We can't mourn her. We need to show up for her and experience her and love her the best we can in this time that we have right now, because she has so much to offer us. If there's one thing women know, it's giving and giving and giving and never receiving. So go out and give back to her. Go out and enjoy her and show her love and show her appreciation, because she deserves it in this time too. How to be smart with money. I think we need to talk about this too, because a lot of the people who are like now Googling what a tariff is, oh my fucking God. Oh my God, you guys. I didn't realize the general public was this fucking stupid. Anyways, if we're being real, prices are about to skyrocket. They are. Okay? We've never seen gas this low. It is about to probably triple. Yeah, it's not going to be good. Hey, not to fearmonger. So sorry. I just want to break it to you. We might as well plan for the worst, or not even the worst, what it's going to be. There is no more $400 bags. There is no more, I'm going to go casually spend $60. A lot of the money management that I would like to preach to you guys right now is not go buy the latest NFT, go buy this stock, go invest your money here. The best investment you can give for your money is not spending it on things that are not valuable to you. You do not need that brand new Hello Kitty random fucking thing that's an extra $40. You have plenty. If you want to celebrate here and there for special occasions, I get it. But those random Thursday 2 a.m. $120 purchases are not going to cut it anymore. It's not. The best way to save your money is not spend it on stupid things. And I started realizing this more when my frontal lobe developed. I think the instant hit of dopamine of shopping and spending and opening packages was something that I was really addicted to when I was younger. But as soon as like my brain started forming and I started looking at things from a whole perspective and not just a right now feeling, I started realizing how important money is and how much I really don't need that thing. I don't need it. I don't need it. $18 coffees, bitch, I can go make that at home for 75 cents. $95 dinner 3 times a week, girl, cook your food at home. You do not need that brand new sweater that is 90% plastic. That is $85. Be real about what you're spending money on. Be real about what you need in your life. That is the best money management tip I can give anybody listening to this. Also, don't take out credit cards. Do not take out credit cards. I just got my first credit card and I'm 25 and I waited a long time, which probably isn't great for my credit building, but I knew I was not in the mind space where I could manage money accordingly and I could spend responsibly. So I knew I shouldn't be allowed to have one. The banks, they don't give a fuck. They want you to overspend. They want you to be in debt. Do not give in to what corporations are trying to trap you in. I knew I was not mentally ready, so I did not take one out. Now I have one. If I spend even $25 on my credit card, I'm like panicking. I'm like, oh my God, I shouldn't have even used it. What the fuck? It has helped my credit because I have one now and I do use it responsibly. But if you think you cannot be responsible with money, there is no reason you should be spending money that you do not have. And that is exactly what a credit card provides for you. You do not need that credit card. Get in control of your spending and your budgeting, and then you get a credit card.
Hey Hannah, love you so much. My question is, how do you figure out where the heck you want to like live and settle down? I'm like in my mid-20s and I moved out to Oregon from the Midwest, you know, big dreams, and it's great out here, but it is hella expensive. And I don't know, I consider like moving back home, but then I question if I'm going to be happy there. And yeah, I just don't have a sense of direction of where I should be. So if you have anything helpful, would love to hear from you. Bye.
Okay, so I'm kind of also in this point in my life where it's like you have the option to make big changes now. I feel like when you're younger and you don't have as much security, as in like job, money, community, things like that, you don't want to make those big changes. But also on the flip side, it kind of makes you more free if you think about it that way. But when you're older, you have more security. So you do have the option to make big changes a little bit more often, whether it's career changes, family changes, house changes, things like that. And this is something that I'm thinking about now where it's like, do I want to live in Kansas City my entire life? Also with the state of the world, do I want to move to maybe a state that is more valuing of who I am as a person and protecting my rights and the people that I love's rights? That's a big thing that I'm thinking about. But I think to kind of make these decisions without having to commit and move, I do think you just have to travel. I think you should travel. I think if there's like random towns that you're interested in, go there and spend a weekend there. Pretend you're living there in that weekend and explore if it's something that makes you happy. Explore the cost of items, cook yourself a meal, see how much it costs you, talk to the community around you, go to a local coffee shop and, you know, pick up a conversation with that stranger sitting alone, ask them about how they like living there, tell them you're maybe thinking about it. One big thing about me is like I would love to live in LA. I would love to. Also, it's very expensive. So maybe it's something that I can't do right now, but maybe it's a future goal of mine when I accomplish maybe more financially stable objectives in my life. But I do think the best way to really understand and figure out like where you want to live and what community you want to live in is to travel and go experience it. And it doesn't have to be for a week. It doesn't have to be for a month. Go for a quick little weekend getaway and try it out. Go see what the community is like. Go talk to people. Go immerse yourself fully. And if you cannot live in the fantasy, then you probably can't live there. Also, if you are into astrology, this is kind of a fun way of looking at it. Ooh, let's get spiritual. Is cartography, astrocartography. Cartography is making maps. Astrocartography is how places transform us. But look into your astrocartography and look at where your fate line is on the map. Mine literally goes over California, so no wonder I'm drawn to there. But that's kind of like a fun little way of checking it out. And it's like, oh, where is this place? What is this place? Maybe that's the next place I travel. Maybe that's the next place I check it out. But my friends who are big astrologers and really, you know, base their life off the stars, they have moved to places where their astrocartography line follows through and they have completely transformed as human beings in ways that I could have never imagined and are very successful. So if you want to get spiritual with it, look into that as well. But I'm definitely not against moving, especially during this time. Like I talked to my boyfriend. Luckily, Missouri did constitutionally protect we did vote. There was a win, believe it or not, and Missouri did vote to constitutionally protect women's rights to abortion, which I think is amazing because previously when I lived here, I had no rights for like 4 years. I had no rights to abortion, let alone health care. If you guys didn't know, I wanted an IUD. I think it was right before Biden got elected. I needed a new one. I needed a new IUD. And since Missouri voted away abortion rights, and it was very, very strict, they viewed IUDs as a form of abortion because it can terminate a pregnancy after you do get pregnant. And I literally had to cross state lines and go get one and pay fully out of pocket. Oh my God. Like, what the fuck? What kind of world are we living in? So, yeah, moving is such a bad idea, especially moving to a place that maybe prioritizes you a little bit more in its politics. Speaking of, someone said, question of the day, where is this cute weedy green jacket from? This is a matching green Juicy Couture tracksuit. Shout out. This is the, if you guys remember me ranting about men literally raiding the fucking thrift store. Yeah, hate them endlessly. Yes, I said hate. Come for me. This is the one thing I walked away with. So who really won here? Honestly, I think I did because this tracksuit is so cute. I've really been into juicy tracksuits this year, especially as it gets colder. My comfortability, like, I don't give a fuck about being cute. Ideally, I'd like to be cute and comfy. There is like a middle ground you can find. So I love like a really long, fluffy robe to keep me warm in the winter. I love a matching set, especially Juicy Couture, velour. Oh my God. Tongue twister tracksuit. I have one in green. I have one in red. I also want one in black, maybe pink. I want a collection now that I've gotten into it. I also love just like a simple matching workout set, matching PJs, something where it's like an air of comfortability, but also cute, you know? That's kind of how I like to live my life in the winter. Hi, big sis. What does being mindful look like to you? Especially right now, I think the best thing you can do to be mindful of yourself is be aware of your emotions and your feelings and process them fully and not give them weight, but address them and move forward. I think that's how I be mindful in my everyday life, especially when my emotions are sometimes really out of my control. Understanding that they're out of my control and understanding that maybe they just need to be felt and seen in order to pass is really what's kept me pretty level-headed and clear recently. I'll give you the real tea on mindfulness. It's not this bullshit woo-woo. I'm just gonna choose to be positive every single fucking day of my life. That's not possible. And if you try to live to those standards, you're going to be a shell of a human being. Feel those emotions. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be spiteful. It's okay to have negative emotions. It does not make you a negative person. When you don't feel them and they start to consume you, and you start to relay those emotions over and over and over and over again because you're not letting them out of your body, that's when you become a negative person. Feel those fucking emotions, let them go. Your mind is like a flowing river, and if you try and hold it up with a dam by refusing to feel it and refusing to let it flow, yeah, you're going to get blocked up. It's going to be rough. So just let it flow through you, address them, and move forward. I also think a big thing for me, especially when it comes to being mindful of myself, is not denying myself. Self-sabotage is denying yourself of your true self. I think denying yourself or ignoring yourself or putting yourself aside is spiritual suicide. I think it will make you a shell of a human being. I think you will behave in much, much more self-sabotage ways, put yourself aside into negative and harmful situations. Being mindful includes being mindful of myself and my feelings and my desire and my needs and not putting those aside, not self-sabotaging myself, not viewing myself as a secondary person, but in fact the most important person in my life. That's how I choose to stay mindful as well. I feel like mindfulness has gotten whitewashed a little bit into the pro-positive cursive sign hanging above, someone's kitchen, when in fact mindfulness can be pretty radical. It can be a self-survival technique. And I think it is a self-survival technique that we need to be extra aware of, especially during this time, especially when you don't know how to decenter men in your life. Get mindful and get mindful of yourself specifically. Speaking of, will I ever be good enough for a man to like me back and treat me right? You are good enough. Stop letting these men who do not give a fuck about you convince you that you are not a whole human being and good enough exactly as you are. And stop giving into those mindsets and, pining after their approval because they do not give a fuck about you and you will not change their mind. You are self sabotaging in this moment. Bitch, get up, stand up, believe in yourself. Stop prioritizing men in your life.
Honestly, I never make it to these things, but now that I am, I have one question for you. So me and my ex broke up like around June, and I need advice on how to get over him because he's already has a new girlfriend and everything. And I'm still stuck thinking about him, not all the time, but it still hurts. And I don't even want to date. I don't even want to like go find new guys or get under new guys. I generally just want to better myself, but it's hard because I haven't been able to do that for so long. So do you have any advice on how to bounce back and start loving yourself again, even though you haven't for a long time? Because at this point, I don't know what to do, and I've been so depressed, and I had to drop one of my classes. So please help.
Okay, I didn't realize you guys could submit videos to my questionnaire on Instagram, and you're such a cutie, so thank you for submitting your video. That's super fucking cute. I feel you. I feel you. Especially when you are, I feel like in the past when I was younger, I'd be like, you just need to get out there and sleep with a new man. And that was definitely young, naive advice. I think exactly where your heart is where you need to go. You need to self-betterment. When you're in a moment where the universe is desiring for you to change in order to learn your lesson and in order to move forward and you don't change, it's normal that you're going to feel stuck in the past. This thing happened in June, you guys broke up, he's already moved on, and the reason he has moved on is because he has prioritized himself. The most radical but also challenging thing you can do for yourself right now is to fully embrace yourself, to fully uplift yourself, and to go after all those desires that you want. To put yourself in the uncomfortable, safe situations, that you have been desiring to see in your life, whether it's a class, a course, an experience, a place. You need to follow that path of change because through change, you will outgrow the situation, you will have a new perspective, and it will be in your past now. When you feel like you're still living in that time, in that place, in that moment, and you want to escape, the universe and your soul also wants you to escape as well. And that can only happen through change. That can only happen through self-betterment. That can only happen through transformation. And it doesn't have to be difficult. It simply is addressing yourself, your desires, your wants, and your needs, and not denying yourself of those things. Okay? So say you're in school, you had this passion for this one thing, you got your heart broken, you've been in this really sad, depressing state for so long, and all of a sudden you have to drop a class. You are letting that man who no longer thinks about you get in the way of you and your dreams. That is something you should never let happen. And in fact, recognizing, realizing, and making the change to work harder will transform you. It will transform you. It will push you into a new direction. Simply choosing yourself in that moment and choosing to better yourself and choosing to take on the transformation, to stop denying yourself, naturally the change will occur. Stepping out of your comfort zone and going after these things that really your heart desires, but you are maybe a little bit afraid of, the change will naturally come, but you cannot deny yourself and you cannot keep living in the past. And I know you desire it because you said you want self-betterment. You just have this pain in your heart. It's okay to feel pain and to feel anger and to feel despair and to keep pushing forward. You don't have to stay stuck there. You can feel those hard things and do the hard thing in the process. You just have to have strength and desire and perseverance within yourself. And I know you have it. I know you have it. So let this be your motivational speech that you needed to get up, to go after your dreams, to be that girl you've always wanted to be, and to not let anybody get in the fucking way of what you want. Because best believe that man isn't. He's not. He's going after everything he wants and he dreams and he desires, no matter who he fucks over, which is not the right way to go about it. But see how far he has come compared to where you have. You kind of have to get a little selfish during this time, and I'm going to give you the okay right now to get selfish, to focus on you. Selfishness doesn't have to be this bad thing that everybody talks about. I mean, when you're putting people in other harm's way, then sure. But I think right now women need to be very selfish. They need to prioritize themselves higher than anybody else around them, especially the men around them. I think that is a safety aspect just in general. And I'm telling you right now, it's okay. Go after everything you desire. Don't let anybody get in the way, and don't let yourself get in the way. That's also very important. Someone asked, what are some simple joys to focus on in these trying times, feeling so unmotivated? So if you guys watch my cooking videos, you know, like me and the squirrels, we are basically symbiotic. Those are my children. They're constantly around. And election morning, I woke up and I felt so fucking dead inside. And then I looked outside and squirrels were going about, you know, their life as usual. At least you have consistency in that aspect. The world around you, honestly, does not know there's a change and does not give a fuck. It's gonna keep spinning, so you gotta keep spinning with it. You know what I mean? And I did kind of find a joy in that. I was like, okay, you know, everything's not on fire. Even though I feel this way, it's not the reality of it, of what it is. The squirrels are still here eating. The birds are still chirping outside. They're still visiting me at the same hours. I think in that simple consistency, I was able to find peace and a little bit of joy. Also the fact that I still have those things around me that bring me joy. You know, doing my art and drawing, that still brings me pleasure and joy. Cooking, having my hobbies, having the things that, you know, I can escape into. Those things are still consistent within my life. Being able to go to the local park and sit in nature and fucking touch grass when I'm feeling like shit's out of control. That shit still makes me feel joyful, feel hopeful, and feel more connected. Going out to lunch with my friends and being able to see their faces that I've seen for 25 years and share the same conversations, and, you know, even though we're all fucking pissed, have a little laugh and see joy in our community and create it within each other. I think that was so important as well, seeing that. Also seeing the motivation in the community, seeing how many of you guys are wanting resources and wanting to do better and to reach out to people and to show up for their community. That is something that I found joy in as well. Also giving back to my community. That is something that has brought me a little bit more peace and feel more control in the situation.
Hi, Hannah. Hi, Queen. I just want to say I love you and I love your podcast so much. I am so lost right now. Like, I'm currently working in hospitality. I'm a waitress. And it's like, I know it's a good way to make money, but it's not what I want to do with my life. And I'm trying to make a plan of what I want to do with my life. But I have no idea. And I don't know, I just have this fear that I'm not gonna figure out how to reach my goals and figure out how to make my dreams come true. What would you suggest I do? Because, yeah, I'm just feeling a little bit lost. Like, there's so many things I want to do, but, like, this fear takes over. Anyway, it's about to end. Love you.
I love you. Okay, so this will probably be our last question of the day. I love hearing your guys' voices. More voice calls, more voice call-ins. I love you guys. And I know I kind of went on a rant for the first 30 minutes, but I think it was necessary, especially right now. But I really enjoy having these back. So thank you to everybody who sent a voice note. If I didn't get to yours, if you don't want to submit another and you want me to see yours next week, just like re-DM me and be like, I sent one, check it out. I will see it eventually, I promise. Sorry I didn't get through so many questions, but I think this has been a good episode so far. And I think this is a great one to also end off on, where it feels like a little bit of like paralysis. I am currently in your position. So I see you, girl. Me too. I'm also a waitress. I get it. And it's gotten to the point where it's like, I've had my fun. I have really enjoyed this job, and I thought it was a really great job, especially for my young 20s and making good money and getting good social interaction and making connections and things like that. But yeah, it is not something I want to do the rest of my life. And I kind of got to a point, especially recently, where I started having a little bit of panic about it. And I was like, I cannot keep doing this. I cannot keep doing this. What the fuck am I going to do? And it sent me into a bit of a choice paralysis, like I said, where it was like, there are so many options out there. I just don't know how to choose. I don't know what to choose. I'm so afraid of making the wrong decision, and I can't make the right decision. I don't know what the right decision is. Ultimately, you will not know what the right decision is until you just get the balls to make a choice, till you just start pushing yourself in one direction. I have hope for you though, because the people that you see around you where it's like they're miserable and they know they're miserable, but they just keep giving into the misery because it's what they're used to. They don't feel that fear. They don't feel that desire. They don't feel that want or that need. And the fact that you are feeling it gives me hope that you will figure it out and you will get out of the situation that you're in, period. If you have longing for it, you will eventually find yourself to that thing. Now, figuring out what you do want to do, it can look at like many different options, many different choices, many different paths, career paths to go down. But ultimately, until you narrow it down and simply close your eyes and point and try something new, you won't know. You won't know. You cannot think yourself into a perfect situation. You cannot think yourself into the right choice. And in fact, the more you think, the more you distance yourself from having the courage of choosing and trying something new. And that's something I've really had to tell myself recently, because I'm the kind of person who it's like, I want to think and think and think about things before I do it, because I have so much anxiety inside myself. And something about my brain tells me like, if I overthink it, then it will become the right choice. That's not how it works. I'll give you an allegory that I think will help you. So when I was younger, I used to go cliff jumping a lot, like cliff diving, especially when we were at the lake. Well, obviously when we were at the lake, I'm not just jumping off a cliff into concrete, duh. But I used to do a lot of cliff jumping, a lot of like high, probably 30 feet jumps into the water. And the one thing I used to get so caught up with is just standing up there and thinking and thinking. And I would be the person who always jumps last, because I could always try to tell myself, well, I can think myself into feeling comfortable with this. Naturally, any sort of change, especially a high jump, mentally like a high jump into a new career, it's not going to feel safe. It's not going to feel safe because it's new. You don't know what to expect. That makes it feel scary. The people who had more fun and more success and more jumps and better jumps and who could backflip off the cliff without an ounce of fear were the ones who walked up there, did not think twice, and just fucking did it. They're the ones who got further ahead. I stood there and I would wait and I would think and I would, but maybe, I can just convince myself that it's not going to be scary. And it would wind me up into a ball of anxiety to the point where like jumping off of these things that sure were a little scary felt 10 times more scary than they should have been. Sometimes you just have to see the path for what it is and make a jump. Now, figuring out what path that is, I think a brain dump will really help you. Getting real about who you are and what accomplishments you've had, what skills you can offer, and write down like 5 to 10 jobs that you can apply for. Go out, apply to all of them, as many as you can fucking find. Put yourself out there. Go for big things. Bitch, if a felon can be president of the United States, you better fucking dream big. Okay, I understand you had a British accent, question mark. I don't know. So I don't know if that allegory is going to hit correctly for you, but still, you need to dream big. Write down those things, brain dump 5 to 10 good jobs that you can apply for, different paths that you have dreamed of, that you are desiring of. Apply for all of them, see who gets back, and pick a path and go after it. But thinking yourself into a frenzy it's not going to help. It's not going to help anything. Sometimes you just got to say, fuck it. Let's try this thing out. It either works or it doesn't. Either way, I've learned something, I've gained new skills, and I've followed my heart. And through that, you will change into a better person. You will change into a more confident person. You will gather the skills necessary to be a confident, successful person in any place that you go. But I do have belief that you can do these things because I see that you are desiring of them. Having desire will get you further than anything else. Having passion for yourself and wanting to do better will get you further than anything else. Thinking and overthinking and thinking, it's not going to get you where you want to go. Sometimes you just got to make that big fucking jump, and through that action, you will learn more about yourself than anything else. But yeah, I think it's a lot of things, especially for young 20-year-olds to go through, where it's like, okay, I'm here, but I'm desiring transformation and I don't know which way to transform. You don't have to know. All you have to do is push yourself in one direction and try it out. And through that, you will learn more about yourself than anything else. I promise you. Try again. I don't give a fuck if you fail. In fact, I think failing teaches you more than anything else. I have failed a lot in my life, and I am more proud of myself than anybody else. I don't give a fuck if I failed. At least I tried. Bitch, you didn't even have the confidence to try. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care to share my failures because I understand that I learned so much about myself through them. I learned what I liked, most importantly, what I didn't like. And I at least tried. I at least had confidence in myself to try. So, get out there. You deserve good things. You deserve to prioritize yourself. You deserve to go after your dreams. You deserve to be safe. You deserve to have people in your life that care about you. You deserve to live a good life. You deserve to have a bright future, but the only person that is going to create any of those things for you is yourself. Show up for yourself. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to the people around you. Show up for yourself in your community. Be intentional about the people you surround yourself with. Be intentional about who you are becoming, because you will become her. I promise you. All the people here are so powerful and so incredible and so driven, and I see so much in you guys. I want you to see that too. Get a little selfish. You deserve it, girl. You deserve a little selfishness right now, okay? Especially in this time, bitch, dream big. I love you guys. I'm sorry if this was a little bit more of like a angry episode, but you know, 'tis the season. What can I say? I think I needed to get my energy out, and hopefully this was a little bit more of a cathartic episode for you guys. Hopefully I answered your questions accordingly. And yes, we will get to so many more next week. You guys had a lot on your mind, so keep those things. We will get to them. But yes, please be safe. Be smart, protect yourself, show up for yourself, and get selfish, and stay sexy. Let's smoke one more bowl. Let's smoke one more bowl. This one goes out to all my girls who have big hearts, big dreams, big desires. Don't give up on yourself. Cheers. I love having my little stuffed animals on the pod. They bring me so much peace and joy. I was having such a bad week. I had to go to my parents' house, go up into the boxes in the attic, and pull out my childhood blankie to sleep with. Yeah, that's the kind of week I've been having. Anyways, if you want to see more from me, you know where to find me. Instagram.com/HannahMarlene. That's where I upload the questionnaire every Sunday. So if you want your question answered, that's where you would submit it. You can also DM me a voice message. Oh my gosh. Or you can submit a video to the questionnaire. That was so cute. Either way, DM me a voice message, video, whatever it is. I would love to hear from you guys. I love hearing your beautiful voices, and I love answering your questions. Thank you for being here every week, not only showing up for me, but showing up for yourself as well. We have created such a beautiful and amazing community, and I'm so lucky to have you all, and hopefully we can all stay strong for each other throughout this journey. Patreon.com/smokeseshshotty if you want to see more from me. I do upload an extra episode every single week. I answer every single one of your questions there as well, plus more fun things. We have a full moon coming up, so I'll probably discuss that there. I will also include the link for women's resources, especially here in America. Also outside of America, there was really good birth control control information on there as well, in the bio of this episode. And yeah, with that being said, I love you all. Stay safe, stay sexy, stay kind, and I will see you all next week. Mwah!